special guest.
We have Michelle today.
I'm so excited to have Michelle here.
Jess has been very excited.
I've been like...
Yes. So Michelle is the founder of Some Things Sacred, a bilingual English and Spanish spirit intuitive, medium, Reiki Master, end-of-life doula, which, you know, I'm so interested in. I have so much, interest and respect for that field. Certified grief educator and grief recovery specialist. We are so excited.
So excited for this.
Michelle's journey into mediumship and grief work was not easy, from childhood experiences of sensing spirit to years of developing her practice in love, authenticity, and truth. She now dedicates her life to help others bridge the gap between the physical and spiritual worlds. Thank you so much for being
Thank you for coming, Michelle.
Thank you for
having me. This is her first podcast, so she's being nervous.
It's her first time.
I'm like, girl, bye. Don't be nervous with us because I got...
That's
but no, baby, it's okay. It's called like you have a bronzer.
No, I'm
That's
having like a hot flash or something.
Not a hot flash. Oh, we talk about those on here too. Yes. We talked about like the stages of period. Like we talked about
the luteal.
Yeah.
I'm very into it. I'm very into it.
Yes,
yes,
as you should be. Michelle, go ahead and tell our audience like just a little bit about yourself and how you stumbled upon or were birthed upon.
All right, so I am a spirit medium. That's what I do. I have a practice, and I've been at this, I would say, out of the broom closet is how I refer to it, after my mother passed away 15 years ago.
Isn't it always the awakening? Not to interrupt you, but isn't it always that?
Yeah, and her death was very sudden for me. So, and for all of us in my family.
Yeah, for all of us, it was very sudden.
So I was like rattled out of, like, it literally changes you. You're one person one day, and the next day you're like, the next hour you're someone else, and you're like, what?
God, can we relate to that? Yeah.
Right. And for me, I'm like, I've been doing this for a couple of years in the closet, really kind of like, if you knew me, then you'd come see me, whatever. And I said, why not just do this?
That's it.
And I said, you know what? I think it helped me through my grief because it was, as you guys know, grief is so difficult, and it's unexplainable, and it's deep, it's raw, and it's sometimes you just laugh at yourself and you're like, what am I even doing? Yeah. But I think it helped me get through the loss of my mother.
Sure.
So I started, like I said, I've been at this, I would say probably 18 to 20 years now.
Sure. Wow.
It initially started for me, well, I've always, since I was a little girl, I could remember, I'd be in a room and we would be having like a party, people would come over, I'm Cuban, so like my parents always had people coming in and out.
I didn't know you were Cuban!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cuban! I'm not Cuban, but you know what I mean? Like you grew up in Hudson County, I think I'm mucho cubano, and that's it.
So I remember being like, celebrating a second birthday or a third birthday, and we'd be around all these people, and I would be able to tell like the people that were solid or the people that were like translucent.
Oh.
And then my mother would start talking about somebody that was either passed or dead, and I'd be like, yeah, they're here. And she'd look at me like, what? Like, and she'd just dismiss me, whatever. She didn't know, right?
Sure.
And and then she went away for like a couple of days, and I was like, oh my God, where is she? I'm a twin, so
Oh my God, how fun!
I have a twin brother. Yeah, I have a twin brother, and we were premature, and it was a little one, I was 3, and he was 4.5 pounds, so he was like a little bigger than me, but it was like it was a traumatic thing because I was separated from him for a month and my mother for a month, so that was traumatic. But anyway, and going back to, growing up, sensing. My grandmother came from Spain. She brought her from Spain with my uncle. And she I remember my grandmother like going straight towards me, and there were like other grandchildren, but I remember her going straight towards me. She kept saying, this is Lola, this is Lola. And I would ask my mother, like, who's Lola? Who's Lola? Years later, I found out that Lola was a child that my grandmother had that died when she was 3. So I was almost 3.
Oh, wow.
And she said she has Lola's eyes.
Interesting.
I don't know if I'm Lola, but,
Right.
It was, so my grandmother died 8 months later. And so I remember waking up in the middle of the night and sitting up and watching my grandmother on the bed doing this, and my mother was there, and my sister was there, my aunt and my uncles, and other people were in the room, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? What is going on? And the next vision I remember is my mother being hauled away by the police because of the sirens. And the next day when I saw her, I said, what happened to Abuela? And she said, how do you know something happened to Abuela?
Oh, she tried to hide it from you.
And I was little. I was like 2.5, 3. I said, where's Abuela? Where's
Wow.
Abuela?
Wow.
And she was like just looking at me like flabbergasted, and she said she went to heaven. And I'm like, oh, okay.
And
All right.
you weren't even well, you were also 2 and 3.
Yeah, I was little.
2 or 3,
but it
like
scared
you're like
me.
kind of like unfazed.
It scared me. It scared
Sure.
me. And so I would dream with her a lot. She would come to me and she would say, I need to leave you something. I need to leave you something. I died without leaving you something. And I'm like, you know, and it would scare me. And you know, my mother would bring me to like mediums, and she was no la limpieza and all that stuff, you know.
That's so. I have so many questions now.
Right.
Now it's just like even more expanded. But go ahead,
but
listen.
this is so interesting because of how it ties culturally.
Culturally,
to Cuban culture.
Right.
Cuban, but also to the African.
Right.
Oh,
Which
the
is my
entire
dad is
Cuban.
from God.
The
Yes,
entire diaspora.
yes,
The
yes.
entire diaspora, yeah.
Yes.
So my grandmother was
Sure.
a trance medium. She would go into trance, which is my
Wow.
I'm terrified of trance mediumship.
Yeah. What is that?
When you channel, so you get te monta.
Oh, that's like Lee Harris
Yeah,
right
and
now.
you-
Lee
and-
Harris has that.
Right.
He has Z's he talks about.
You really shouldn't do it alone because you
No,
need
good.
somebody to pull you out of it.
Yes.
All right. That's it. It's not that it's dangerous, but you can get in a trance for. She used to get into a trance for a couple of days. People would say she was schizophrenic, blah blah blah, but the story is that she was a trance medium. So her mother, based on what my mother has told me, well, you know, when she was alive, she was a curandera for the town.
Wow.
So she would get the herbs and she would heal people,
Yes,
whatever.
yeah.
And I'm
The
thinking,
holistic
you know,
doctor, like
and then
like a witch doctor almost. Yeah.
So when I was going through all of these things as a little girl, she would go and, you know, she would want to have me cleansed, and she didn't want a muerto pegado on me or anything like that, you know. And they would say that this one, and some people would actually stop her in the street and say, you have one of 2 children. The little one can see dead people, and she's going to do this kind of work whether you like it or not.
Wow.
And my mom didn't want me to. She was very Catholic.
Yes.
And I think more afraid of this than anything else.
Sure.
You know, and this is not easy work. This is very, you know, there's, you know, it takes a lot of integrity to do this work, and it's difficult because it's very draining.
Absolutely exhausting.
Exhausting. It is exhausting.
Yeah.
You know, it's exhausting. So,
Sure.
Anyway, she would, when my mother, before passing, you know, she was not well. She was sick or whatever, and I could tell, like, she's not feeling well, whatever.
How old was she?
She was 76.
My dad was
She
75.
wasn't, yeah, she wasn't.
That's still young.
It is young.
Yeah.
It is young.
Wow.
But, you know, we're objective, right? We can't, it's our family.
That's
so
it.
the last thing, I knew she was sick, but I was like, no, she'll be fine. She'll be in the hospital. She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
That's how I
And
feel
she
about my
died in front of me.
grandma. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, she's an ox.
Mima.
My Cuban grandmother is
She's
92
the
years
funniest.
old and tells me off every chance she gets.
Yeah.
She's
so
the funniest
I feel
woman.
like she'll live forever.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, her death was devastating
Sure.
because I had to watch it, and you know, it was like, how do you even process that and think? And I felt her. I remember feeling her go, and having to tell the doctor stop working on her. She's gone, you know, and having to make that decision, you know.
Wow.
And then, you know, when my mom died at 11/11, which is a very significant. Like, I kept
blew
seeing
Justin's
11.
mind
11.
now.
What happened? What happened?
My dad died 11/11, and his year is coming up in November. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Jess always finds.
So my
But we
Yeah.
didn't know this.
No. My
This is-
mother-in-law, interestingly enough, about 4 years ago, passed away too at 11:11 in the morning. And my husband and I were there, and I'm like, oh my God, shit, Javi.
Yeah.
It's 11:11.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know.
There's no such thing as
There's
coincidence.
no
it's
sense-
all synchronistic.
That's it. Even my brother, he died on my dad's birthday.
Oh my God. Yep.
2/9.
Yep.
What's 2 + 9?
11. Yeah.
I'll save another one for
Yeah.
you after the show.
Okay,
You'll
perfect.
really be like, Girlfriend.
No, listen, you don't have to encourage me or I know.
No, yeah.
I know because I see it all the time.
The numbers.
All the numbers. The number synchronicities is something that they love using.
Sure.
They love using animals.
Because it's like throwing it out there.
You know, even if we have pets at home, pets are very sensitive to spirit.
Archie.
And if they're barking at something that isn't there, or they're like whining, or they want to be on top of you.
Yeah.
You know, it's because they're sensing spirit, and it's not that they're scared of it. It's sometimes even whether you have a cat or a dog.
Closeness.
It's like your loved one wanting to be close to you. And that's the way that they can get close to you, is by through the animal.
Oh my God, I have a million questions. These questions here don't even mean anything anymore. The levels of questions I have are, oh my, but I'm gonna let Liz, because see, for me, I'm very open to it. So again, right, like we're recording live. God only knows what I think. What did I tell you?
I didn't know we were live.
Not live in that sense, but like we're recording, and if we needed to edit out, we would always edit out. But in the sense that we're recording, I'm open. Okay. So like Liz is like, I'm not ready for this.
I think I'm more open. I don't
think you're not open. I think that, and again, you could speak for yourself, but I just think it's just more so of just how everything is just lining up.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my question would be, what would you say to someone who is curious but hesitant or even fearful about connecting with the spirit?
That's you.
Because I think that's really me.
In my personal experience, I don't solicit. My incentive is not. Yeah, my incentive is never about money. People could say, "Oh my God, you charge so cheap" or whatever, and I'm like, "All right, whatever. I don't care." It's really about making it affordable for everyone to have an experience, right? And I try to make it as positive. I want everyone leaving the experience better than they came in.
Sure.
Okay, it's scary. It's scary. You don't know what you're going to hear. And I'm the type of person, I don't sugarcoat. I will give you the good, the bad, the ugly, whether you like it or not. And then coming in, that's what you're going to get. You know, and so for someone who's skeptical, right? Like I can't be a person that sugarcoats because that's just not who I am. I'm a Sagittarius. That's not who I am.
Ooh, can't do my moon.
Oh. Girl, okay, we gotta have like lunch sometimes. Yes, both of us anyway. Three of us.
Yes.
So where was I? Lost my train of thought because that happens a lot.
We were talking about people who are very. It's not so much skeptical, but it's maybe more hesitant and more fearful.
So spirit is not something to fear. Okay, they're with us all the time. Not like they don't watch a shower or have sex or anything like that, but they're with us all the time. Like you think, oh my God, this is happening. My brother or my sister would they would be so into this right now.
Yeah.
Well, they freaking made it happen
all the time.
Yeah.
They made it happen. They opened up that door for you. You know, because they are our ancestors and they are there to guide us. And like, don't get me wrong, they have their things to do. They're busy, but when we need them, they're there. Yeah. All you got to do is speak with them, you know, or envision them in your mind's eye, and they're there.
Sometimes I drive and I pretend that my sister is sitting in the passenger
seat. They usually are
really?
In the car. They always tell me that they like to be in the car with you. They like to listen to music. They'll play music on the radio that will remind you of them somehow.
Wow.
A lot of times I'm driving and I'm like, I'm just gonna pretend that she's in the passenger, you know, and I'll
because she gets scared because of driving. Right. So you didn't give them behind.
So my sister.
So there was an accident or something with your sister?
My sister died on the road.
Okay, that makes sense.
My sister was driving with her. My sister was a passenger. Her husband was driving, and they were hit by a tractor trailer. Unfortunately, died instantly together, same time. So I have had a very big fear of driving on the highway
trauma response.
I personally cannot see a truck. Without thinking of exactly what happened. So when I am forced to drive, because I would never, if it was up to me, I would never drive again. Ever. But when I do have to drive, a lot of times I cry in the car, right? And then a lot of times I'll pretend she's there and I'll
protecting you.
Yeah, I'll just talk
She is protecting you.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. I'm just gonna say, and I usually don't do this. I mean, she's tarred herself and put herself in white chicken feathers. I don't know what that means for you, but that's weird. But that's just what she's showing me, a chicken or a white chicken, and I don't know if you do anything with chickens or.
No, but the truck that hit her was a chicken truck. And there was white feathers everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Bro.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So if you find white feathers, like I shock myself sometimes. I think even for myself in doing this, sometimes it's like, oh my God. Wow. Okay. That was like a wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's her connecting with you. Pick up the feather, keep it, whatever, or just say thank you. Always acknowledge. They like to be acknowledged. Don't get me wrong.
Gratitude.
They love, and one thing outside. Again, I don't want to like. I want to finish I want to answer the question. There's nothing to fear.
Sure.
I'm here to give messages. Sometimes they're not so nice messages. Sometimes it's I'm sorry because I did this to you or that to you because you need that closure because you didn't get it. Right. And so a person has to be open to messages. Otherwise, they're going to shut me down.
Right.
When I say they, I mean spirit. My guides, my ancestors, your guides, your ancestors, they're going to shut me down. They won't give me anything. I can't read for myself. People always ask me all the time, you can't predict. No, I can't. I can't, and even with predicting things, what is that about? I can foresee things, but we have free will.
That's it.
So we can change things that occur in our lives. I can guide you and say, this is what I potentially see, but you have the right to make a different decision, and it has to be right for you.
So I'm going to piggyback off of her question.
Yes.
And this is a conversation I was having with my husband, but it also ties into not the episode before, but the episode prior. And this also has to do with culture. Because a lot of what I've picked up on with a lot of our following is a lot of people of color. So I said to my husband, I said, I'm so excited to have this medium on. Obviously she's bilingual, but I don't know what descent and stuff like that. But the fact that you said Cuban, obviously there's a lot of people who shun. Now, and I say this, right? So just to kind of remove this real quick, when my brother passed away, it was an awakening for me. Similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. A lot of people are like, well, I'm not on the same journey as you. You're falling too deep. I said, no, I have a lot of questions. And I'm trying to get answers at this point. It's not that I'm trying to follow Yoruba or Santeria or whatever.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to follow any. I have questions. And I want someone to be real with me. And I want someone to answer those questions. So I said to my husband, I said, why is it? And he said it so perfectly. Like, these are like some great conversations, and obviously you haven't had conversations with him like this.
Right.
I said to him, I said, what I find so amazing is that when there is an awakening, a lot of people don't believe in that God has given everyone a gift, and they're still very shunned and very scared.
Right.
Scared of their gift. Right. But. And also, why is it that everyone believes in the lighter skin, right? So you have Teresa Caputo, you have
oh my God.
And I love her. I love her. And I love her because it reminds me of home.
Well, she's very out there.
Yeah. It reminds me of home a little bit, right? That's the Italian side that reminds me of home. But the black side, they're like, no, Christianity, we don't do that stuff. We don't believe in that stuff. But why is it so brainwashed? Why have we been so brainwashed to not believe in our gifts? Number one, right? That's a part one. And then part two, why has it have become about a racial, I guess, right? Racial, cultural thing that, listen, it's all derivative from Africa. Like, this was all one continent.
Absolutely.
Like, this was all. So why are everyone so afraid of a babawa or who's the one that they do with the shells and stuff?
They're afraid. They're afraid of what they don't know and they don't understand, right?
Correct.
So I have received, I know who guards my head. Saint Barbara guards my head.
Good for you.
Yes. I've received Maelekes. I have received Orula, which protects me from, a disaster or whatever, if something were to happen to me. Like, it's just a lot of. So I don't practice the religion.
Correct.
But I acknowledge that the saints. So there's a hierarchy.
The layers.
There's
the hierarchy. The head.
I'm at the bottom of the barrel as a muerdera.
Yes.
Like, because I work with the dead. So I'm considered like the bottom of the barrel.
Well, right. But
seriously.
wait, but then it goes into what I told you about the Indians, how they have the people that they're called the untouchables, and because they clean the garbage and they clean everything.
Yes.
You see, there's just
it's
all like
and everybody works together.
Correct.
Everybody, like I have an altar, and I will have an altar for my dead, right?
Sure.
And then I have an altar for my santos. I'm a saint whore, and I say that jokingly.
Sure.
Because I collect vintage saints, and that's we're talking. I was watching your you're recording that like last episode before about doing the Swedish clean, and I'm thinking, my God, my daughters are going to inherit all my vintage saints, like.
Well, that's what happened. My sister had a Yamaya altar.
Yamaya, and the sunflowers.
So we had Yamaya and all her stuff, and so that all went to my aunt's house, right?
Okay.
But it's, right. It's like,
what do you do with that? You don't know what to do, and people are afraid. Oh my God, don't touch it! Don't touch it! Don't touch it!
Don't touch it!
Yeah,
and you're gonna get a negativo, like
right, or you're not, it's there's a process to it, and it's like I knew that when I started this journey years ago that I needed protection from Los Santos. Something about it, I was like, you know what, it's where I began. Like, so for me, when I was about 27, 28, my uncle got hit by a car and died. Not died. He didn't die instantly. He was heliported. My mom flew to Miami, whatever.
I'm sorry.
And that evening, he came to me in a dream. And he said to me, he was young. He looked young and dark hair, handsome. And he said, and my grandmother was behind him. And he said, tell them I want to stay. I love it here. It's beautiful. It's sunny. I want to stay here. And he showed me the wall and he unplugged the plug. And I was like in a lucid dream is what it felt like.
Right.
And then I said, okay, Theo, I'll tell them that, because I knew my mother was on her way to Florida and they were going to wait, I think, something like 48 hours to like see what his brain activity was like.
Sure.
And I didn't sleep that night. So when I was laying back down on the bed, he put his hands over me. And I swear to God, I sound crazy when I say this, but he elevated me off the bed. And so I felt like he did something.
Sure.
To me, that after that was like, boop.
Yeah.
Completely open.
That's it.
Completely open because, a lot of people don't know this about me or some do, but I have a seizure disorder. And it started when I was 14, out of nowhere, randomly.
So interesting.
Right?
Wow.
So neurologically, you're like, I've had all these things and then
That's
now.
why when I text you with the telepathy.
Oh, yeah.
The telepathy thing.
Yeah,
did I ever send you the telepathy tapes? Oh, that's a whole new podcast.
Yes,
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. So I haven't had a seizure in 18 years. As long as I've been doing this work.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. They'll do a scan now on my brain. He's like, oh, I don't find anything there. But you still have to be on medication just in case. You know what I mean? So whatever. But see, these are things evolve. But in going back to that question too, with like the religion and how it all ties in the culture. I'm Cuban. Yoruban, the Africans were taken to Cuba or brought to Cuba.
Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, all the Caribbean islands.
Right. And so they're Elegua, Oshun, Yemaya, Obatala, these saints were renamed.
That's right.
Chango is Santa Barbara.
That's it.
That's what a lot of people don't understand, that
even St. Mary.
There's a lot of African religion that was brought to Cuba and was just renamed.
Synchronized.
But not even that. So even going to Ghana, when I went to Ghana in 2019.
So can you imagine?
Oh, it was magical.
Yeah, sure.
But I even asked all those questions. I said, well, so when they came here and, first it was the Portuguese that came, the Portugal. Right. Portuguese, not the language. Portugal, the Portuguese.
And Spain, yeah.
They came and then they stopped, and then now it was more the Europeans, and they were trying to inflict more of the Catholic. Right. So then now you have all these saints that are like, okay, you have the Saint Mary, you have Saint Barbara, you have Saint this one.
Right.
Why? Because they're all in white now?
Right. So they in order for the Africans to be able to practice their religion, they had to synchronize the saints.
Correct.
And so they would do whatever they needed to do far as like to practice using La Virgen de la Regla is Yamaya. Oshun is La Virgen de la Caridad.
The water.
Chango is Saint Barbara.
Patron saint of Cuba. Right.
Yes. So they would.
But why not? But see, do you see, like, that opened my eyes. So when my brother, I knew when I did, and I'll tell you this, and I don't know if I've explained more in depth with you about it. I did is something called a soul contract. And it's the vibrations of your name. And there was one of the things that they said between this age and this age, it was like through the sevens, which seven's my lucky number, seven letters of my name. Like, I mean, we can go all day. She said that basically what's happening there is like a soul awakening. And if you haven't gotten into your alignment of your soul, God will make you feel that and will awaken you and be like, hey girl, you don't want to listen now? Right. I'm going to take someone who means so much to you. So I started to see more pain into purpose. Right. And that's where that came from.
Right. You don't want grief or pain to define you. You want to grow from it.
Yes.
And I think that's where I think a lot of people get stuck in like victimizing themselves. And like, listen, I have sympathy. You have to have empathy and sympathy for people who are going through a loss, because if you don't have it, you can't do this. You just can't do it.
You just can't.
Right. Yeah.
It's impossible to do it.
Yes.
But you have to remind them gently that I get you. I will sit with you in your grief. I will sit with you in your pain. But you can't let it define you. You have to grow from it.
That's it.
And in a couple of years, and I've had women, I've read for, a lot of people over the years, thousands of people. And I've said, listen, you're going to move on. Your husband is telling me you're going to move on. You're going to move on. You don't want to hear that right now. Right. But in 3 years, call me.
Right.
And they'll be like,
I'm going to say it off of air.
It's like, I'm sorry. I will say things that you don't want to hear right now, but you need to know, because, and people will always tell me, girl, I had a girl the other day, she's been a client of mine probably a good 13 years. Wow. And she said, you have said things to me that they haven't happened for like maybe 2 or 3 years, but when they happen, they're like, shit, Michelle said that. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You're absolutely good. Yeah, especially this one.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Listen, and I've been very good because I'm a sailor, but she's.
I'm a sailor, and I tell people that too. I said I will curse throughout the reading. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance if you don't like it, but that's just sometimes I can't help it, because sometimes, despite not wanting to channel. Yeah. Because I'm afraid of it, they will channel through me, and I will say things in certain ways that person wouldn't
understand. It. Right. And that's how they would understand it. So it kind of what I sent to you, my husband had went to this other woman, and then as soon as we walked in the door, she was like, well, and I was pregnant, so she wouldn't read me at the time. Right. So because the thing is that the baby doesn't have a soul yet.
Right. How far along were you?
I was early. I was early. I was like 6 months. Okay. I was good. 6-7 months. But he went and he had gotten his closure. But when we went, she was like, well, I'm Catholic, as soon as we walked in the door. And she was up in New York, and she turned around and she was like, I was exiled from the Catholic Church because I'm a me. Wait, so then she was, and then all of a sudden, I guess like a couple of whatever the situation was, they accepted her back. They were like, no, you're doing God's work. Come on. Like, you can't exile somebody and then she wrote a book. She was like,
they're okay.
You're going to hell.
Right.
She wrote a book, You're Going to Hell.
Oh my God.
She's so petty. Well, she's so petty. I love her.
Well, that's
something that
good
for
her. But if you're Catholic and you practice and you're going to church every Sunday, like, it's okay if you get messages from God, but God forbid someone that's a layperson should get messages from a dead person.
That's it.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
So
how do you deal with criticism? How do you deal with that?
I don't deal with it. I just don't. If someone is going to criticize the way that so I've had a lot of people say, well, there's impossible. You can't do this kind of work through a computer, because I only work remotely now. I used to have an office.
Good for you.
But after COVID, I had to shut my office, and I'm like, F it. I'm going to just work remotely.
Why not? That's what I do.
It works for me. I'm busy. Why would I open up an office now? It doesn't make sense.
You're still doing the same thing.
Exactly.
You're still doing the same thing.
They'll say,
there you go. Thanks, Steve.
I said, I don't know. I can't tell you how it works. It's like you have internet. Can you see the internet? No. Right. You know it works, right? Yes. Okay. Same thing.
Just about your faith in God.
Right. It's your faith in what you're doing.
There's no way that I can prove that I'm like, divinely looked over.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. You can't prove faith. You can't prove God. You can't prove your connection. Right?
I think we're all in this world on frequencies.
Yes.
And we're evolving. And I think a lot of people I think, hurting a lot because it's uncomfortable, you know, and, you know, what you put out there is what you're going to get back.
That's right.
You know, good,
That's
bad,
right.
ugly, whatever it is, you know. So, you know, when I get criticized for what I do, or like I was at a reunion recently, a 40th high school reunion.
Wow.
And someone says, "Oh my God, I forgot you're like the bruja of like the class." And I'm like, "I better be careful with what I say about you or whatever." And I'm like,
Bitch, bye.
I'm like,
I think that's the first time I've cursed. Like, what? What?
I'm like, I'm not that person. Like,
Yeah,
you
not...
can, or you know, I'm married a second time, so. I remember when it was like a short spurt of time where I dated one or two people, and people, I can't be with someone that does this kind of work. Or they'll say, "Oh, you're so intriguing." I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to be intriguing to you in that way. Like, I want you to be, I'm a person.
That's right. The human experience.
Right. I'm just me. Just like, this is who I am, you know?
It.
And
this is your life.
Right.
This is your journey, and this is what your life is and your career is.
Right. Does it mean that you're like, are you with me because of what I do, or you know what I mean? So it was always.
Well, that's why we've been I've been telling Liz, like, she needs to do Grief Educator and grief coaching. Like, this is her
It's
journey.
so fulfilling.
Yeah.
I mean, when I've gotten certified in grief educating through two different methods, the grief recovery method and through David Kessler. It's fascinating. I mean, it's important because when I do, you know, this work, a lot of times, like, so when I'm giving messages, it really heals the soul and the heart, right? Because where we're pain, we're right here. It's like when you lose someone,
right, you're creating
the heartache,
that connection.
That heartache is so. Your heart hurts. It's like, you know, broken heart syndrome exists.
My God, absolutely.
Yes. You know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I thought I was having a heart attack so many times, and I just know it was anxiety and grief, you know?
And when you're helping someone through grief, like, there's no shelf life, man, for grief.
No.
It never goes away.
Yeah.
It's always going to pop in. Like, I cried the other day like a baby, because something reminded me of my mom. And I'm like, you know, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to sit here and tell you that Mother's Day sucks for me, because I watch everybody go off with their balloons and their bags and gifts for their mothers. I'm like, I can't do any of that.
Right.
You know, it stinks, right? And I'm a mother, and I have to tell you, even through my journey of grief in grieving my mother, and I feel terrible saying this, but I've apologized to my own daughters. I became very disassociated.
Oh, I'm queen.
You know?
Meet me down there.
But I have to. In my line of work, I have to disassociate, and I have to compartmentalize. I have to.
Oh my God, Jess says it all the time. Yeah.
I do it so well.
Yeah.
Well, because I do this work part time. I'm an LPC.
Yeah.
I do counseling part time.
Because otherwise you can't survive.
No.
You know, and so I've been absent from my girls when they were 12 and 16 throughout this process, because I didn't know. My mother's loss was the first loss that I've had that was a major loss. No one taught me how to talk about grief.
Right. Same with my sister. Yeah.
Same.
And I've told my daughter recently in one of our Bible study groups. Like, I have a women's group where we do Bible study, and then I have. My daughter has become a part of it because she's a young adult. She's 14. And I told her, I said, my God, how you have just like carried yourself this past year, because I know that I haven't been there 100% because I've been in my grief.
Right.
You
know?
Can't
be.
Right. And I gave her flowers because I was like, wow, you've really been able to like wake up on your own and do things. And, you know, so yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, it took a long time for me to even realize it,
right?
And then take accountability, because you have to take accountability.
That's it. Well, that's also a lot of emotional maturity,
you know, and I'm like,
too,
oh my God.
and just being,
you know, going back, you know.
Yeah. For sure.
Where can our followers find you?
Yes, they need to find you.
So
ma'am.
I have a very small little website where it has a link if they want to make an appointment. It is very. Listen, I'm not a Facebook, or I don't post, or I really don't do anything.
This
is
entire thing about grief and
yes.
You know, spirituality and like you know, mourning and grieving, and part of what we talk about is keeping the connection alive, right? And so this is not about likes or follows or big websites.
No.
This is about community. So for sure.
So I have a website. It's some things with an S at the end. Answer things.
Sorry about that.
Sacred. No. A lot of people just, you know, I can't find you. And I'm like, it's some things sacred. It's all one word, .com. And it's a little excerpt of who I am and you know, how I became, you know, coming into this and stuff like that. And then there's a link if they want to make an appointment. I don't push it because I don't feel like, for me, people find me.
That's it.
I don't want.
You don't need to promote yourself.
I don't need to put like the psychic sign out there or the medium sign out. I don't like that. I don't. It's not. Listen. To each his own.
Organic. Yeah, but I feel like there's difference between organic and authenticity.
Right.
Versus putting the sign out and it's like, listen, I could do you for 25 minutes, and it's like, you know what? No.
Somebody say, I have a question for you. I need. Can you? I'll pay you for 10 minutes of your time. I'm
Never
like,
in
no,
your
buddy,
life.
I'm sorry.
That doesn't work that way.
Because there's preparation for this.
Sure.
Like I have to pray in the morning, and I have to light my
have
candle.
your whole thing.
I have my whole ritual that I have to do.
That's right.
And I have a schedule. Like I have an actual schedule. Like I don't.
And you have an actual life.
Yes.
And family.
Right. And people sometimes forget that I have problems too.
Yes, you're human. Goes back to exactly what I said.
See therapist,
Right.
see therapist, see
That's
therapist.
it.
I have a
Hello.
therapist. I have
Yep.
a therapist too, you know, and it's like, you know,
You see? Thanks, Steve.
yeah, we're human beings before having a spiritual
Especially
experience,
being in
or
a third-
versus
third
spiritual
dimension.
beings having a physical experience.
That's
so,
it.
you know, but we have to live in this 3D
Got it.
dimension. I will say though that we are evolving, and I think a lot of people, you're either going to stay in the 3D or you're going to like move up. You're either going to be in the higher dimension. Prayer is so important for me. You know, like people say, oh, do you go to church? Like, how do you get accepted to church? And I'm like, I'll go to a church. They're like, oh, how nice, que lindo. It's like pretty.
Right.
But I won't sit there in mass. It's just not my thing.
Right.
But I won't. The other day, like I was doing my makeup before I started, and a rosary came on, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sit here on the TikTok, and I'm just gonna listen to the rosary, and I did the whole rosary.
Wow.
You know, so things like that will pop up, or I'll do a rosary, or I'll pray before I start my day.
Right.
You know, but people think that I'm not religious because I don't. And I don't know. It's religious difference between religious and being spiritual.
Do you know it? You know, but a lot of people don't understand that. But I thank you so much. I thank you so much for coming by. And I think that our just our followers is just gonna really resonate, because I feel like it wasn't just so. It just wasn't so mundane, and I think that's just been how our podcast has been. And again, right? Like us, follow. Subscribe, share. There you go. Comment. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram. I mean, just follow us, or you can even go through Bravery Studios, and obviously you can find us. Bravery Up.
Nice.
And then, right, he's so good. And thank you so much for joining in. And if you have any questions or follow-up, you already know how to find Michelle, and you can also get your reading by her.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for
Pleasure.
coming on. Thank you. Thank you.